StreamYard. Welcome.
What's up? You can hear me?
Greetings. Yeah. You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How's my?
Okay.
How's
Let me turn my volume.
How's my camera?
It looks good. You look clear.
Man, I got every light on that I could find.
That's real. That is real. I'm trying to figure out why I think it's a setting. It is. I see it. That's what we're doing.
Oh, how you do that?
Okay. So if you go to settings underneath in the middle under stop cam next to present, and then click virtual background, you could change the high definition so I could go full HD. Ooh. Oh, that looks kind of good.
Oh, I see setting. Oh, virtual background.
Yeah, and you can blur it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna put 9. All right. Let me make sure got everything set. Let me get my glass of wine. So are we live on YouTube? Let me pull up the YouTube.
We live.
Yes.
Oh, that's dope. We got 6 people on the 2. We'll give it a few more minutes, let people come on in this thing.
That's awesome.
Oh, somebody said no audio. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me check the audio. It's audio coming through. It's coming through on my end on the YouTube. Can somebody else confirm that we have audio on YouTube? Let me type in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Somebody texted me and said the audio's good. Hey, Reggie.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. Good deal. Welcome, Tracy. All right.
All right. Perfect. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I still haven't officially seen it. So this is like the whole thing, start to finish.
Okay.
Hi, Angela.
Okay, audio is awesome. Good deal. Let me post on my story that we live.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. All right, y'all. You know how this goes. We got to like do the whole post thing.
Like and subscribe.
Shameless plug. Do your shameless plug.
Hey, I'm getting used to this thing. This is my first time ever going live,
That's cool.
like on any platform. Let me see.
Really?
Yeah.
We popped your live cherry.
Yeah.
That's real.
All right, let me post this. All right, people coming into the live.
Hey. Hey, you guys.
Luana, what's going on?
All right, I'm posting it one time, and then let's get this thing started.
Okay. Let me share my link.
I was just saying, you guys, this is that I'm watching it for the first time fully with you. So I'm really excited. I wanted to wait to watch it with you guys, though. I was like, I don't want to do a preview. I want to watch it with you. Okay. You never realize how much goes into like posting something until you're on a time crunch trying to like do it real quick.
Yeah, this week has been crazy.
All right, I'm with it. Hey, Lawarna. Hey, best friend.
Hey, what's up, Tori? My sister on.
Hey.
Noonan checking in.
That's awesome.
My other sister on, Keisha in the building. What's up, Keisha?
Yes. Kima. Hey, Kima. Who's all in the building? Hey, Bianca. Hey, girl. Hey, Ava. That's my goddaughter. That's so cute. Oh, snap. My mom's on. Hi, Mom.
Okay. Good deal.
Yes. Strolling in. Hey, you guys. Drop a hey in the chat so we know who's here.
Yeah, check in.
I'm trying to get my little thing on. Let's see. All right.
Hey, my boy J Mo.
Hey. What's up? What's up?
Let me get some water real quick.
Meanwhile, there's no water in sight. Y'all already know what time it is. I gotta do better. In all fairness, for every glass of wine that I drink, I do drink a bottle of water. So I'll drink one bottle of water for every glass of wine I drink. That's how I found my balance. So I finished the water bottle probably like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, that's a good balance.
You know, got to. All right.
I say let's give it maybe a couple more minutes, Nicole.
Yeah, I say we give it 2 more minutes. Hey, AC. Hi, boo. What's up? Oh, yeah, let me do this. Okay. That sounds good to me. Drop a wine glass in the chat if y'all drinking, or is it just me? I don't mind being a party of one. Oh, that's funny. For every glass, I'll make a donation. That's, you know what? That's a good idea. I might have to do that one day. I actually love that idea. You see what your mom wrote, Chris?
My mama in here. Hey, mama. What's going on?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luwarna, for not letting me drink alone. Real friends don't let friends drink alone. Yes, Angela, we sipping. Oh, you guys, my wine is here. Okay, now I gotta get the bottle real quick. Okay, 2 seconds. Hold on, let me show you. Y'all, look at my Bible. Oh wait, there's the camera. It's so pretty. I'm so excited.
That's the rosé, right?
That's a Riesling.
Oh, that's a Riesling.
Yeah. Yes, Latoya out here drinking too. Thank you, sis.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, I might need to go ahead and
Let's do this thing. Yes, a toast to me, Luwarna. Same girl. Cheers to that. All right, Chris. Let's do this thing.
we got 22. All right.
Come on up, Natalie. She said I'm outside.
Give me a few minutes. 1 second here. Send out this last text.
Get it in. Kamisha says you need to get you some tea, Chris.
Hey, Kamisha Sade, welcome. Yes, indeed. Okay. Well, I think we have a party.
Let's do it.
Greetings and welcome all to the I Am Evolving documentary online premiere. Man, appreciate y'all taking time out on this. What's today?
Tuesday.
I'm losing, man. Time is just time, though. On this Tuesday evening, I know everybody's, getting prepared for the holidays this week. So appreciate your time. So yeah, the documentary, just a little backstory. So Nicole approached me. I think we ran into each other earlier this year at an event. And, I just told her that I had, plans of aspirations of doing filming documentaries. And then she proposed an idea to me to do her documentary. I didn't know what it was about at the time until we met later on. But immediately when she told me, I was on board. And then we met up and talked about it. And the rest is history. We started, I think, back in May officially.
Yeah.
Started in May. We actually did 2 interviews, but the first interview was so solid. I told her, I said, I think we only need the 1 interview, we did the interview. It was great. And it's been a process from filming it. Actually was the easiest part. That didn't take any time, but the editing and the back end stuff. So we were meeting periodically to get it to where we needed to be. We had the in-person premiere. I think what was the group, Nicole? I Will Survive.
Yes, I Will Survive is the fundraiser that we were benefiting literally a month from today.
Oh wow, okay. So that was at Atlantic Station. Yeah. That was a good turnout. So we wanted to bring that thing back, for people who wasn't able to make the in-person event, bring it to you all online. And I feel real good about it. I watched it again today, just to make sure everything was everything.
And Chris, you've seen it like 12 times so far.
Yeah. It never gets old, though. It never gets old. I'm really proud of the project. Really grateful to Nicole for even trusting me with her story, because I mean, it's heavy. You know what I'm saying? To be able to go through that and to be able to be as vulnerable as she was, because all the files, like the videos and footage she showed me, she was in there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just appreciate her for that opportunity, and I feel like I delivered, so I feel real good about it. So yeah, that's my intro, Nicole. And let me see, is there anything else? I guess that's about it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So I introduced Nicole, the woman of the hour. Nicole Anderson, CEO and founder of Her Wine. I've known Nicole. We went to school together, but kind of met up a little after that at Georgia State. Shout out G State in the building. I know we got some GSU alum in the chat.
Yeah. The real GSU.
I feel so. Yeah, Nicole, take the floor. It's all yours.
Yes. First of all, thank you guys so much for showing up and showing out today. It really means a lot for you guys to hop on virtually and join us for this premiere. We are super, super excited. I'm really big on giving people their flowers today, and Chris is being extremely modest. The quality of this production you're about to watch is really top tier. It's something that we're both super proud of, but Chris not only filmed, he edited, he scored, he directed, he was the interviewer, like he wore all of the hats. And so I'm super excited for this moment, for sharing this story, but really for showcasing the talents that Chris has. So you guys you're in for a treat. I'm really excited for the premiere of I Am Evolving. So let's get to it.
Awesome. So yeah, just we got the live chat going, so feel free to drop your comments in the chat if you want to chime in throughout the film. And yeah, we're about to get this show started. Any final words, Nicole, before I cue the video?
No, just you guys, please definitely comment. Let us know. This is the first time we're showing the full film all throughout its totality. I myself have not seen the full film, so you're going to see my reactions just along with you guys for the first time. But please comment. Please let us know, your thoughts and anything that you're feeling in that moment. We are live chatting with you, so let's make this an engagement like we were all together.
All right. So all right, everybody, get comfortable. Turn the lights down. It's like you're at the movies. You know what I'm saying? Create that movie, that theater environment. Get you something to drink. And yeah, we're about to get started. I am evolving. Queuing now. So I'm gonna mute our mics, Nicole. Also, if anyone on the stream can't hear it, type in the chat. Just let me know if the sound is not coming through. All right, let's do it.
Good. Strong. I'm healthy. My body is strong. And I'm in love with all the amazing things that my body can do. I am healthy. My body is strong. And I am in love with all the amazing things that it can do. I am healthy. I am strong. My body is strong. And I am in love with all the amazing things that my body can do.
So people always ask me how I knew I had cancer. And it's kind of embarrassing because technically I probably should have known earlier, but I was like rocking and rolling. Like last year, 2021 was a very tumultuous year. I was dealing with a lot of different things all at the same time, like a zillion balls in the air. And the last thing on my mind was my health. So I remember probably in the summertime of 2021, I was looking in the mirror and I noticed like I had a dent in my breast. It was weird. It was like, and the craziest thing is I thought that was normal. I was like, has that always been here? Have I just never noticed it before? And I completely like brushed it away. I didn't think twice about it. And it wasn't until I was sitting down and I was laying down, all of a sudden I had this sharp pain. It took a few weeks and it became like a constant dull pain that I was just always feeling. And I told my mom about it, just in passing, you know, like, yeah, I've been dealing with this thing or whatever. And she was like, you need to go to the doctor. And she kept pressing me about it. And finally I was like, okay, I'm just going to book this appointment. So I booked the appointment, go to the doctor. Me and the doctor, you know, she's asking me the most, you know, basic questions. Do you have family history? How long have you experienced this? And I remember being so embarrassed, like laying there, because you're already super vulnerable when you're at your OBGYN, right? And so I remember being so embarrassed because she's like, when did you feel it? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't even remember when I even recognized this. And she said, you know, we're just going to take a biopsy just to be sure, you know, it's nothing. But there's a common benign tumor that can occur in women in their 30s or younger. And it's usually nothing. And so we honestly thought that was it. So when she gave me the call and said that, you know, it wasn't benign and that it was breast cancer, I was shocked. That was the absolute last thing that I expected. When I first found out, I will never forget that day. I was working from home and it just so happened to be a day that I didn't have a lot of meetings. And normally I'm booked and busy, like back to back. But this particular day, the afternoon was free. And I ended up getting the call in the middle of the day. She asked me, you know, if I was available to talk. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It was December 4th. And she, you know, pauses and she's like, you know, I didn't expect this. And she says, I'm so sorry. And she didn't even have to repeat anything after that. Like my heart immediately like fell to my stomach. And she said, we were able to confirm that you do have breast cancer. And I just remember writing down like a few words, cancer, stage 2, and, you know, the nurse is gonna reach back out to you. That's all I could like write down. And immediately after we hung up the phone, I called my mom and my dad, and I couldn't even get the words out. Like I was already crying, and I think my mom just had those maternal instincts. Like she kind of just knew what was wrong. And so she was like, hold on. She went to the room with my dad, and all I could get out was breast cancer. I have breast cancer. And I just remember crying, you know, like she's rattling off all these things and, you know, next steps. And all I hear in my head is, you have cancer? You have cancer? I have cancer? How did I get cancer? Cancer? Like it didn't resonate. And the tears start flowing. It was weird. You know, I didn't understand how, why, you know, immediately, I can't imagine how my parents feel or felt in that moment, you know, hearing their daughter tell them that, you know, this thing that was supposed to be routine, it was supposed to be something like, oh yeah, it's just fibroderma, whatever, to find out that it's not that, and that it's cancer, you know, that their daughter has this thing inside her body. Like, that's just, I don't know. I don't know how they felt. And I'll be honest, you know, I wasn't even sure how I felt. So finally processing it, I think that moment didn't hit me until I actually had a meeting with the oncologist. And I think that's really when it got real for me. My doctor was amazing. He was very, very thorough. But I remember being in that room, he walks in, it's him and his understudy and a nurse. And he has this like device that kind of, it's like a dictation device that he can use to kind of record the conversation. So I remember seeing him walk in, and I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm sitting there in the little doctor's chair or whatever. And he starts to review the charts. And that's when I realized that not only was I stage 2, but that the cancer had spread to my lymph nodes, and that they had potentially saw another mass in my right breast, because originally they had saw it in my left. And I was in shock. I really was. I didn't even know what a lymph node was, you know? So now you're telling me that this thing has spread and it's in my lymph nodes. I have no idea what that even means. And you're telling me now that I'm triple positive, which sounded, you know, okay, but I didn't even understand in the moment like what triple positive was. It meant that I had an aggressive form, and that I was estrogen, proestrogen, and HER2 positive. So those were the 3 proteins that were essentially attacking my body. And he was telling me all this information all at once, and it's really hard to digest in that moment. But in the midst of him explaining all these things, he kind of pauses and he looks at me, and he looks at my chart and he says, "How old are you?" And I was like, "I'm 31. And he said, "Well, you probably need to consider fertility treatments, because this is something that can affect your fertility in the long term." Because the treatment plan that they had for me was very aggressive, but also would require me to potentially do chemo for the next 5 years. And in that moment, I remember my heart it sank. It really did, because, you know, to know me is to know that one of the things that I look forward to the most is having children. And to hear that that potential was going to be stripped away from me was heartbreaking. It really was. That was probably the toughest pill to swallow. And I think that's when I realized, fuck, like, shit just got real. And then he hit me with the second bombshell, which was, you have to look into these treatments. However, if it's something that's going to take longer than a month, you can't do it. If it was going to take longer than that, I could go from stage 2 and jump to stage 4. And that's something that would be harder to treat. So my mind was racing, because at this point, not only are you telling me that I'm, you know, having to look into fertility treatments, but you're also telling me that I have a timeline attached to it. I'm having to make these life decisions that are going to impact me forever in such a short amount of time. And it was stressful. It really, really was. It was extremely emotional. When the doctor left the room, my mom was there with me, and, you know, I was trying so hard not to look her in the eye, because I knew the moment that I was going to look her in the eye, I was going to bawl out crying. And she looked at me and she was like, you know, "It's going to be okay. You know, how are you feeling?" And I'm just trying to be strong and not, you know, show any emotion. I'm just like, "It's cool. I'm gonna figure it out." And she gets up and she just gives me a hug, and I bawl. I couldn't even help it. I start crying, and I'm just like, in my head, I'm thinking, you're not gonna ever be a mother. And the thing that makes you a woman, the thing that fills you with the most like femininity, is literally attacking your body. And you're not going to be able to hold on to that.
This journey is really trying to teach me something. And I'm trying really hard to learn the lesson of trusting other people. And I'm trying to learn to receive, love and be okay with asking for help. But it's hard. And these injections hurt. And now I have 4 shots. Went from 3 shots to 4 shots that I have to do now. And I have a surgery tomorrow, and they're gonna install this port, and shit's just getting really real. And I'm trying, guys. I'm trying, God. I really am. I'm trying so hard to stay positive. I'm trying so hard to remain focused on the goal and to visualize it all. I'm staying positive. Like I haven't felt any sharp pains in my breast for like all day today. I don't even think I felt it yesterday. Like I was like, okay, Nicole, you're doing good. You're visualizing what you're supposed to. You're doing good. I don't know why I was so frustrated today. I was frustrated. It was so much. It was like business stuff, and personal stuff, and health stuff, and it's just compounding, and everybody's trying to help, and that becomes overwhelming too. I'm bleeding, and I know it's normal, it's what they say, but she freaked out a little bit because it's like, this is my one shot. My one shot. I have to get this right. So, and I will. I'm just venting right now, and I will. But that weighs on me because I don't want to screw this shit up. Like, I need my body. I need these injections to be worth it. This has to be worth it.
Day to day was impacted a lot with chemo. There was a lot of times where people probably had no idea what I was going through. But chemo is a very intense thing. So for me, the chemo treatments that I had to do, I had to pretty much do 6 to 9 hours of chemo. And so just imagine your body being pumped with chemo and several other drugs on top of other drugs that are supposed to counteract the effects of chemo. So I'm doped up on steroids, I'm doped up on chemo, I'm doped up on immunotherapies, all of these things which are supposed to help to target the cancer. And the very first, I still remember to this day. So January 20th was my very first chemo. And I went into it optimistic, normal Nicole, like, I got this, don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's going to be a breeze. In my head, I got this. I'm young. My body is different. I'm 30, 31, like, this should be a breeze for me. So the very first chemo treatment that I went through, it was not what I expected at all. I actually ended up having an allergic reaction on my very first treatment. So all of a sudden I'm sitting there and my heart starts racing. And I was like, I'm thinking like, oh, it's nothing. Like, it's probably nothing, but I started getting a shortness of breath. And the nurse comes in, she looks at me, she asks me if I'm okay. But I started to not feel okay, and I didn't want to freak my mom out. And this goes to the whole, like, trying to be strong for everybody else. So I asked my mom to go and get me some food. And as soon as she left, I called the nurse and I was like, hey, something doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm having a shortness of breath. I'm sitting there, I'm sweating, you know, my heart is pounding, but I can't really breathe. So I'm trying to like not psych myself out. So I'm trying to take deep breaths, but I really can't because in my mind, I'm like, what is wrong with my body? What's going on? What's going on? And my mom comes back at that moment too. So she walks in and she sees a room full of people. And mind you, these rooms aren't like huge, right? They're pretty like small rooms. And now you have me in this chair. There's 2 nurses, my mom looking at me like, what's wrong? I just left you a second ago. And, you know, I'm just looking at her like, I didn't expect you to be back that soon. And all of a sudden, I got this extreme pain in my pelvic area. And I like balled over. And I've had cramps before, but this was like times 100. I was like in tears and pain. I'm balled over. I can't move. A doctor comes in now. They had to address it and give you more medicine, pumping me with more drugs to offset the effects. So at the end of that period, I was exhausted. My body was drained. I was drained, but I was doped up on steroids, so I still felt good. And that was the problem for me. I had this false sense of I'm okay. Every day was like opening up a new symptom, a new side effect that I wasn't expecting to have. And I think that was the most frustrating because you can't plan for that. And I'm a planner. I'm a planner in like my nature. So not being able to control how I'm going to feel and literally not being able to kind of dictate what my body is going to go through the next day was extremely frustrating. And that happened every single round of chemo. So today is March 8th, so it's been a while. But a lot has happened. So I had my second round of chemo, as you guys know, and this time it was rough again, y'all. It was rough again. I had an allergic reaction again, but this time days later. So you can't really see it right now, but I have like this rash that popped out of nowhere. It's all on my chest and my neck and my face. And honestly, I was so annoyed when that happened, but it didn't itch. Like it didn't, you know, it was just a rash. So I told the doctor because I was experiencing that. I was experiencing constant upset stomach, just loose bowels. Like it was horrible. Had a little bit of a headache, but I had the medicine this time, so I was able to recoup from that. But it was rough. Yeah, it's just dealing with body changes physically, and then the rash, making it harder to now hide this. And it's not hiding it because there's a shame or anything, you know. It's more so just protecting my energy right now, because I am so vulnerable and I do have these extreme highs and extreme lows. Like sometimes, like there was just these 2 days in particular this time where I was in a funk. I was just mentally, emotionally at the lowest that I have ever been.
I'm literally crying in the dark. Does that make me strong? Everyone tells me I'm supposed to. This is your time to be selfish. Don't be strong. It's okay. But when I'm not strong, who's there for me?
So after the first chemo experience, with all the allergic reactions and just the hecticness of it all, and after going through all of the side effects that came with it that were unexpected, I was over chemo. I remember I was, so I stayed at my parents' house during my recovery time. And I remember going to my parents, went to their room, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And my mom and dad were looking at me and they said, what do you mean? And I said, I don't want to do chemo anymore. I feel like I can heal myself naturally. I started researching all these different ways, different foods I can take. I was super fortunate. My best friend, her mother had been making me these different juices that I was taking. And I was convinced that I would be able to do this holistically. I'm reading, Joe Dispenza, I believe is his name. And I'm reading him and he's like, disease can't live in a happy body. And I'm like, you're damn right. I don't need this. So I was convinced I did not need chemo. But I think the reason why that didn't work for me and why I wasn't able to heal myself naturally was my intentions, my motivations. I didn't want to go through that pain anymore. And I remember being in my parents' room and I'm pleading to them, like making my case to the jury. Please don't let me go through this again. Is there anything else we can do? There's got to be another way. I can do this holistically. I'll just eat cleaner and I'll drink more water, whatever it takes, I do not want to go through this again. And I was sitting there and I'm crying, I started out real tough. I started out the conversation. I went in there like suit of armor, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. I'm not doing this stuff no more. Just want to let y'all be aware that I'm not doing this anymore. And then they start questioning me like, well, why don't you want to do this anymore? And what's the reason? And as they start to peel back the layers, they see their baby girl like just tired and hurt and just not able to, not feeling strong enough to keep going. And that's really what it was. And I remember like my dad has this deep baritone, very white voice. And I remember him like looking at me and his voice was cracking. And he was like, I wish I could take this for you, but you got to do this. And I was so upset. I left that room so like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why doesn't anybody hear me? I feel like I'm screaming at the top of my lungs and no one is hearing me say like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is it. And they were supportive. They said, you know what? Do 3 rounds, do halfway, and let's see what happens. Let's do a test and see what happens. And that, while frustrating, was my compromise. And little did I know that the halfway mark wouldn't be my last chemo round. It wouldn't be the end of this journey like I thought it was going to be. Here I go, entering into round 2 of chemo. And I think between ending round 1 and starting round 2, that's when I started to notice how chemo was affecting me physically. So I entered into this whole journey assuming that I would not allow this disease to dictate my life. And I refused to look like my struggle. That was a very, very big thing for me. And of course, one of the biggest things they tell you with chemo that it's just a stigma is that you're going to lose your hair. So one of the things that I did was I started researching how to not lose my hair. And I stumbled across this machine that I was able to secure that just so happened to be at this facility as well. And it's a cooling cap. And essentially, the cooling cap, it kind of tricks the chemo, right? So chemo comes in, it's like a wrecking ball. It's looking for any areas that have high cellular activity. Reason being is because the tumors tend to have high cellular activity as far as reproducing quickly. This is where the cells are reproducing very quickly, and that's how it spreads, right? Or the tumor grows. So in this particular case, your hair, for me, my ovaries and my heart were areas that had a lot of high cellular activity. So
At this point, I did fertility treatments to protect my ovaries. My heart, I did several different heart exams, EKGs to check the strength of my heart. All was good. So all I had to worry about was my hair. And as stereotypical and as it may sound, your hair, your physical is such a big piece, especially as a Black woman, like my hair was my crown. I work hard to keep my hair the way that it was. It was long and thick, and I was extremely proud of my hair. So I was determined to do everything that I needed to keep it. So I invested in this machine. I spent about $2,000 to use this machine every treatment. And it wasn't until like my fourth session that I started to figure out the hack. So unfortunately, I did start to see my hair falling out. I remember the first time that it happened, I was getting ready for my cousin's 40th birthday. And I was super excited because this was the very first time that I was able to like get dressed up since I started chemo. And, I'm excited. I'm like, all right, let me get dressed. And at the time, my hair was natural and I had this natural bob. And I had took my hair down. It was wrapped up. I took the wrap down. And as I was like running the comb through my hair, like a chunk of hair fell out. And I was like, that's weird, And I'm like, nah, it can't be. Because I'm paying for it not to be. So cool, I let it go or whatever. And as the days progressed, the chunks became larger and more frequent. It was every time I touched my hair, chunks were falling out. To the point where even if I didn't touch my hair, I would look down and I would see like a clump on my shoulder. And I'm like, what the fuck? And that was really, really, really hard to deal with as I'm watching this crown of mine, this staple of my beauty start to just fall out. And there was nothing that I could do about it. My cousin, I remember I had asked her to come by my house the night before I was supposed to go back to chemo. And I needed to braid my hair down so that I could put this cap back on. And she was combing out my hair, helping me to put these 2 big braids in. And as she's, kind of running the comb in, the hair is just falling. It's just falling. And she starts sniffling. And I already knew what was going on. And I'm trying to stay strong, and I'm just like, it's okay, don't worry about it. Here I am, right? Trying to be the strong friend yet again, Superwoman cape, trying to just mask my emotions. And she's just like, are you sure you're okay? And I was like, I'm fine, I tell her it's just hair. But internally, inside, my heart is breaking because I'm starting to see that now this thing is affecting my physical and it's going to make it even more difficult for me to hide it.
It is. It just shows how much my hair is like, it's long and healthy and thick. So
it
is good. Like, it's kind of cool to see it like this. Yeah.
This ain't got nothing on you.
This ain't got nothing on me. I'm good. But yeah, it's going to grow back. I'm not even worried about it. But I appreciate you.
Seeing yourself physically change is a real deal. I remember looking in the mirror, and at this point, when we say hair, a lot of times people just assume like the hair on your head, but it's hair all over your body, eyebrows, legs, underarms, everything. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror, and I didn't see me anymore. I saw this ugly alien looking back at me. Like, she had no eyebrows. She was super skinny. And I literally looked at myself and I felt like death. I was like, I looked at myself and I started like planning my funeral. It was real. Like I was looking at myself and I was like, you don't look like you're gonna survive this. So what are you gonna leave to who? Like, because when you look a certain way and you look in the mirror and you don't see yourself anymore, like you start to feel that. You start to really like wither away with this disease. And it was extremely difficult, to even think that, but it was real. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this apartment to this person, and my belongings, funds in my account. I'm like, dang, who's gonna take over my wine company? Maybe they'll do it in my honor. Like, I'm having all these thoughts, and just off the strength of me looking in the mirror and just not seeing myself. I didn't want to avoid looking at myself in the mirror, but there were days where it was really difficult. Like, I wouldn't look at myself until I did something to make me seem a little better, whether it was putting on a wig or putting on some makeup. I would try and like blindly put on makeup just so, like, at least drawing an eyebrow. So at least when I looked at myself, I didn't see what I knew I looked like underneath it all. And here I am at 31, and now all the things that I had associated with my beauty were now gone. And every time I passed by myself, I hated myself. I hated how I looked. I hated how this thing had completely taken over my body to the point where I no longer felt appealing, and I felt like I just couldn't hide it anymore. Entering into this phase of actually having to like wear wigs and trying to, find ways to, hold on to some sense of normalcy. That was hard. That was a hard thing. That was a journey for me because I hated every wig I bought. I spent so much money on wigs. I felt everything looked wiggy. Everything looked fake. It's just nothing looked like me. And I think one of the things that you go through when you're going through something this traumatic is you want to hold on to some sense of normalcy. And I was losing that every day. I was losing that battle every freaking day.
Today hasn't been a great day. This week hasn't been a great week. I just feel like everything is so fucked up. I'm so fucking over this shit. I feel like I'm just stressing everybody out. I can't control my body. I just hate it. I really do. I hate it. I hate looking in the mirror and like watching my hair just fall out in clumps every time. And I try to be so strong. I really am. I'm trying to be strong. I'm so fucking mad. I'm tired of crying. I don't even cry. I'm not even a freaking crier. Like, I'm over this shit. It's hard. And I feel so freaking alone. And it's like, I know everybody wants to be there, and I know they want to understand, but they don't, and they can't. And I wouldn't even want them to. I wouldn't want nobody to go through this shit. I feel like I'm just failing at everything in life right now. Relationships done. Like, that shit sunk. Like, I'm just lonely. And I know it's like, talk to somebody. That's what my parents keep telling me, but I don't know. I just want to be healthy again.
So it wasn't until I was able to have this moment where I was at my parents' house and I decided to just embrace it. I sat there and I looked at myself, no makeup, no lashes, no eyebrows, no hair. And I was like, you need to compliment yourself. You need to just look at yourself and find 3 things that you can just tell yourself that you're beautiful. And I was like, well, your skin is clear because you're drinking all this water. I was like, you lost this weight, so body's still snatched. And I was like, and your booty's still big. Period. That's all you got. And I said 3 things and that was it. But I challenged myself every day to try and find something to say positively about myself, because it was really, really difficult to hold on to that for so long. And you kind of have to force yourself to find the silver lining in the whole experience. And that was my thing. So I had to every day find something about myself that I liked. And I was super fortunate. I was YouTubing like how to do like makeup tutorials and stuff. Like, how do you draw eyebrows, and how do you like just little silly stuff, like how to make myself just feel normal and how to do my makeup so that I could at least give the appearance of this is still normal Nicole. Because unknowingly to the rest of the world in my my peer group, I was going through this, but I didn't want to look like it. So I was still doing events and I was still going out, and I didn't look like it. So I am super excited. Today is my last day. So I'm headed to my last chemo, and I am so freaking excited. So I had to get cute, get done up or whatever, because I'm celebrating today, people. Okay, today is a celebration. I am so happy, and yeah, God got me. God got me. So here we are, round 6, and I was very, very emotional. I had made the decision to wear the shirt that we had taken with my grandmother. So this was the last picture that we took of my grandmother. It was a purple shirt. Purple was her favorite color. And it said F cancer on it. So that shirt was really funny because, she had gone through a lot. She had lost her hair at this point. And, we were just encouraging her, and we kind of took the picture in jest, like, F cancer, man, you got this. And, lo and behold, she succumbed to that. So for me to wear her shirt and ring that bell, that was a real powerful moment for me, because as I was ringing that bell, I realized, damn, she didn't get to do this. She didn't get to this part. And I know that she was with me, and that's what helped me to get to this part. Despite being so pissed off at her spirit, for not being here, reality was she was with me every step of the way. And that allowed me to find the strength to get through the remaining 3 cycles and to ring that bell. It's really cool. I remember the way they set it up. They called my mom and asked her to come out, for a second. And so my mom leaves, and I think nothing of it. I'm literally tied up to different, contraptions and stuff. So I'm not thinking anything of it. And all of a sudden the lady comes in and she says, we want to show, we got something for you in the front. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, your mom's up there. She wants you to come up. And I'm like, okay. So here I go walking, I had just finished. They had untied me of all of these, tubes and everything that were connected to me. And I'm walking towards the front, and I see my mom, and she has this huge smile on her face, like this huge smile on her face. And I look and I see all the nurses that have been with me through this journey over the last 6 months. And they start singing this song.
6 bits a dollar. All for Nicole. Stand up and hold.
And they guide me to this this platform that's on the wall. It's like a plaque. And it has like an inscription on there that pretty much is just like, you made it. And even though life may be different going forward and it may not have been what you expected in the beginning, you overcame it. And they tell me ring the bell, and I ring the bell, and it was so symbolic, because that bell, hearing the sound of that bell, swinging it as hard as I could, like that meant the end of a chapter. That meant the end of all this stuff that I have been going through. It meant that I won. I beat it. You know, like, everybody doesn't get through that. Everybody doesn't make that. My grandmother didn't make that. And that really resonated with me, because I rang it for myself and I rang it for her. And that was really something. To ring this bell in commemoration for my grandmother, to ring it for myself, knowing that I overcame something that was so fucking hard. That was real. That was a really, really powerful moment for me. And yeah, I really appreciated that moment, and it meant a lot. Silly little bell that I'm sure countless people, have rang, but it meant something. It felt good, and it felt like I closed the door, I closed the chapter, and now I get to cross over into the next phase of all of this. But I made it. I persevered. I didn't allow myself to give up. I had people around me who wouldn't allow me to give up, and who were pushing me. And I was ringing the bell for all of us. It was a victory. It was a victory for all of us. So I think one of the things that is not discussed is how important your circle is when you're going through something like this. Anytime we're going through adversity, you're not meant to go through it alone. And a lot of times when you're weak, you really look to your circle to be your support system. And oftentimes that circle is comprised of family members, friends, spouses, loved ones. It's people that you feel like you can open yourself up to. I can say that was probably one of the toughest things that I had to go through and had to learn, was allowing myself to be open and vulnerable to my family, to my friends, to allow them to kind of step up when I couldn't. Even though people that I expected to be there to pick up the slack dropped the ball, I had people who easily, like underdogs, that picked it up, ran with it, and helped me carry me through that finish line. My parents were warriors. As someone who's not a parent yet, it's hard for me to imagine how it could be to have your child go through something like this. And I really commend my parents, especially my mom, who really nurtured me back to health. She was cooking for me. There were times she had to literally force feed me. I'm like, I'm a 31-year-old woman, and here I am with my mom, like spoon feeding food to me. She gave me my medicine every day. Like, she came in with the energy, the positivity that I needed to help me to want to even, continue to have a good day, even on the days where I was over it. Because there were days where I was like, God, I gave it my best shot, but hey, maybe I can be a testimony to somebody else. And my mom she would not allow me to give up. She would not allow me to have the thoughts of death to stay on me. And you have to have people like that in your corner who really rock with you and who are like, you have to live because your life means so much more and you have so much to live for, that if you give up now, you're going to be completely, kind of losing your purpose. Like, you're bigger than this. You're stronger than this. And there were times where I really just was done with it. I was over it. I planned my funeral. I have planned my funeral. I thought about who's going to say what I was giving up, like I was done with that. I just assumed that this was going to be my end and this was my demise. And I'm so fortunate to have that family that really was like, nah, you're not giving up that easily. You're going to push forward. You're going to pull through this. And they would sit with me. They would call me, love on me. I have aunts that would call and just check in and see how I'm doing. I have amazing friends that were there and that, weren't my, who I didn't expect to be the people that would show up for me and like allow me to vent and allow me to just offload my troubles onto them and not expect anything in return. Just, hey, if you need to talk, just call me. And I'm never the type of person, I've always been that independent person. I'm not going to ask for help. That's never been my MO. But to be able to have people around me that were like, nah, you're not giving up. You need a vent, you vent, and you vent to me. Sometimes you have to address the shit. You can't sweep. This isn't something you sweep under the rug. And I had really great friends that were like, nah, what's really, they're like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. And they're like, nah, how are you? How are you really? And next thing you know, I'm over here like, I'm okay, and my answer changes. I go from I'm good to I'm okay to actually I'm freaking shitty. And I had a horrible day. I haven't slept in days and I'm miserable and I can't eat. And then it's like the floodgates open and it's so like relieving to be able to just get that off of your chest and to have people who are like, go ahead, like just lay it on me. It's okay. Like, I know it's heavy and you don't have to carry this by yourself. And you don't have to be superwoman. And you don't have to be lonely. Like, I think going into this, I thought like I was going to have to do this on my own. And I didn't have to go through it by myself. My circle is strong. And I can honestly say that without them, I would not be here right now. I wouldn't. I know that my mother nursed me back to health. She would come and check on me every day and she's like sing-songing like, good morning, how are you? Telling me I'm beautiful when I feel like crap. She's, forcing me to take these supplements when I didn't want to take shit anymore and I was over it. And she's, my dad. I had a crazy panic attack one day coming from an event. They carried me up the stairs. They calmed me down and I couldn't have done it. My brother, like, he literally would leave the house and I have the only thing I could eat for a couple of days was freaking QT ices. It was so funny. But if I said I needed icy with drop of a dime, he would get up, go and just give me whatever I needed. No questions asked, and you can't pay for that type of support. My cousin just constantly calling, checking on me, making me laugh, some of my best friends, like one of my best friends, her whole family just rallied behind me. My best friend calling and just checking on me and just asking how I'm doing, allowing me to talk to my goddaughters. One of my really, really great friends who honestly has become a best friend to me, Kima was there from Jumpstart. That's probably one of my strongest friends because she was there when I was at my lowest point. She saw it all. And with my business, me pushing myself, she allowed me to really let go. And that was something that I wasn't used to doing, but I felt so comfortable being able to just take a breath and just hand it to her. My circle showed up. So even though people that I expected to be there weren't there, there's so many other people in my life that really showed up for me, and that was invaluable. It was invaluable. Like I really couldn't have done it without them. I really couldn't have done it without them. And I'm so appreciative of my circle, even my job, like the cards that were sent, the care packages that were sent, just the flowers that I received. I have neighbors that would send me flowers and send me like fruit baskets. And it really showed me how loved I am, how much people really love me and want me to be here. So on days where I was really ready to give it up, I would look at the cards. I would look at the messages. I would look at, the people who just would send me random texts of like, hey, I love you and I hope you're okay. That helped me get through a lot of shit. That helped me get through a lot of it. And I'm just so appreciative. It's the smallest things. It's the smallest check-ins, but all of it, every card, every text, every email, every like, hey, just, I hope you're okay, Instagram message. I had a friend fly out of town just to come to my birthday event. You really can't place a value on that. And I'm super appreciative of them for that. I really am. So I feel blessed. I feel like, again, ringing that bell, it wasn't just for me. It was for everybody who really supported me. Everybody who was like, you know what, we need you here. You can't give up. So ringing that bell just meant a lot, and I couldn't have done it without my support circle. I really couldn't. And I'm appreciative. Sorority sisters, friends, like, man, they really helped me. Homegirls who taught me about makeup and taught me about wigs and taught me about, I had one of my good little sisters. She bought me this expensive ass lotion because my skin was peeling and it was so painful to like touch and hold things and like squeeze my hand. Like doing like this was painful, and she bought me this lotion that she heard works. It's those little things that you don't think about. And that made me feel love, and that love fueled my healing. That love fueled my healing. So without them, I wouldn't be here today. And I'm grateful. I really, really am grateful for that. Yeah. So get you a support system. That's the takeaway.
My name is Nicole Anderson, and this is my documentary.
All right.
Hey, Chris, you did so good. Oh my gosh.
Hold on. My mic is muted. Hello.
I can hear you, Chris.
Okay, cool. Thank you all for watching the documentary. That was
You did amazing, Chris. That was phenomenal.
appreciate it. You made it easy. You made it easy for me.
No, you did such an amazing job. Kudos to you. Kudos
Thank
to
you,
you.
everybody. So yeah, we stick around if anybody has any questions to type in the chat. Any thoughts, any questions, feel free to chime in.
Wow. I just have to say, starting this from just random clips on a cell phone, and Chris being able to piece together. I sent him a Dropbox with like over 100 different. It was literally, I think, about 100 like videos and like.
It was more than that.
Yeah, y'all. I overloaded him, and for him to just take that and piece this together, that was really cool. Like, yeah, Chris, you did that. That was lit.
Appreciate it. I'm glad it all worked out.
You did amazing. You did
Yeah, it's every time I watch, especially at that towards the end, that ending kind of gets me every time.
I think I was crying the whole time. I'm like trying to wipe tears and sip wine. I'm like, I'm not crying. It's okay. That was beautiful. Super kudos to you, Chris. That was amazing. That was super amazing. Yeah.
Your story. Let's see, man. The tears. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely some heart-wrenching moments, but I really hope the themes Chris and I when we started this whole venture together, he said, Nicole, what do you want people to get out of this at the end? And I said I hope that I can hopefully share some of the realities of what the cancer treatment journey is like. Unfortunately, cancer is very prevalent in our community, and oftentimes, as someone who is going through it and trying to balance this whole idea or demystify this idea of being the strong friend all the time, I wanted to show the realities of what we go through, because oftentimes we don't talk about our struggles. We don't share that side because it's not cute. It's ugly. It's not glamorous at all. And I really wanted to find a way to share that. I wanted to also, talk about the realities of being that strong friend. We got to let that go. I really had to learn to allow my friends, my family, my mom, my dad, I had to find a way to kind of let go of that cape and be present and allow myself to lean on people, because that's what they're there for. Someone told me once that, anytime that we try to be too strong, we're blocking that person from their blessing. Because if the roles were reversed, you would absolutely do whatever it takes for the other person, So I had to allow myself to allow other people to be a blessing to me. And so thank you to my team, my circle. Like, I love y'all for life. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate you.
Beautiful. Yeah, Nicole came on as a producer. Yeah, she I didn't know how, when we started, I didn't know how involved she wanted to be in the process. But yeah, she had a producer hat on. She brought her certain eye to it as well. So it was like we was able to bounce off each other.
Yeah. You did that though. It takes some strong talent to be able to just take an idea. And like I said, Chris was on the other side of the camera interviewing me, like asking me questions, and then at the same time he's like doing the lighting, the sound. Like, it was a full production house. It was really, really cool. We rented out spaces. Like, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
Yeah. What happened, because like you said, it was so much footage that you had. So basically, I mean, how I move, I move through my spirit. It's kind of like, it's some thought, but it's more of a feeling and more of a just guided through intuition. So that's what helped me really really direct and film this documentary. Just having that higher vision, and being in tune with that. So yeah.
I love it. Well, intuition don't lie, right? Always guides you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much. We are so appreciative that you found time on your holiday week to spend an hour with us and to watch this documentary. It means the world to us. Chris and I are really trying to take this thing and really hopefully spread it a little bit more broader. So we really just appreciate you guys, liking it, leave a comment, help us to, kind of share it and push it out. But again, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, spending an hour with us, and really watching this with us. It means the world. So thank you guys.
For sure. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all. And so we're going to leave the stream up on YouTube. So if y'all want to rewatch it, if you caught the middle of it, maybe you didn't see everything, it'll be available on YouTube. Feel free to share it out to your friends, to your family, to your people. So yeah, just stay tuned. We're gonna get this thing real polished up, even more to have to have it featured on YouTube individually instead of the streaming. So yeah, look for 2023, man. We're really gonna be taking off with this thing. Got some big plans for the documentary. So you just appreciate the support, appreciate the love.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holidays. Eat good and detox good.
Sounds good. Love you guys.
Cool. Let me see. 27 people. I guess we don't have any more questions. Cool. All right, Nicole. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris.
Everybody, signing out. Peace.
Yay.